Come with us now, if you dare, down a rickety staircase into a dank, dark basement. What awaits? The Saturday Night Freak Show.
Hey, thanks for listening to the Saturday Night Freak Show podcast, the movie review and talk show podcast that comes your way every Saturday, whether you're ready for it or not, whether we're ready for it or not, in our quest to conquer the airwaves. These are the Internet Radio Superstars.
Sean.
Michaela.
Holly.
And I'm Colin. And tonight we watched a film that was chosen by...
we watched a film. Holly. What did we watch tonight?
We watched a film called Tough Guys Don't Dance.
Ooh. Okay. What's that? Do you think that's an accurate title for this movie?
No.
From the year?
1987.
1987. Okay. Directed by?
Norman Mailer.
Norman Mailer.
Norman Mailer.
How do we know Norman Mailer?
You may have read some of his work. Norman Mailer was a journalist and novelist, born in 1923, Harvard graduate in 43.
Okay.
Army veteran.
Okay, makes sense.
He is a 2-time Pulitzer Prize winner.
Okay.
He wrote several novels. The Naked and the Dead. You probably know of that one. Armies of the Night. American Dream. The Fight. Executioner's Song.
I saw that movie.
I know
Yeah.
that one.
With Tommy Lee Jones.
Yes. So several of his books were adapted into film.
Okay.
Notoriously, The Naked and the Dead was adapted, and he fucking hated that movie.
Okay.
Because of that, he decided only he could create a movie for Tough Guys Don't Dance.
Oh.
It was a novel.
He wrote
Right.
it. Yep, he
the
wrote
novel,
it.
and then
3
this
years
is
later, he wrote the screenplay and directed the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, we always know how passion projects work
Yeah.
out. They always
Yeah.
make total sense to everyone except the author,
Naked and the Dead
But-
didn't cut it, so he
Yeah.
had to do it himself.
Like what Norman Mailer is like, when you say his name, it's like Norman Mailer. Like
Norman Mailer,
he's-
he was up there with, he's been put together with Truman Capote and, other great American novelists.
Yeah, because he was like part of, I think, with Capote, right? And Hunter Thompson,
Yes.
using kind of like, they would make up, I don't know if it's necessarily fiction, but they would do true stories,
Yeah,
but like a novel.
They straddled the line of fiction and nonfiction because they dabbled in both. They were journalists, but they were also fiction writers.
Yeah.
He wrote articles for countless publications. But yeah, he straddled that line. He wrote, to this day, it's supposedly the most accurate novel or portrayal of Marilyn Monroe's life, which has been referenced for several movies. So he's a big guy in the publishing world. He did try to direct some other films that he also
Such
wrote.
Prior to this or after?
Maidstone, Wild 90, and Beyond the Law.
Okay.
Yeah, other passion projects of his.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Beyond the Law sounds like something that we should check out.
But this one,
This is the only one that's like watchable, I guess. I'm
Okay.
putting
This
quotes-
is the one that's
I'm
watchable?
I'm putting quotes on it. Yeah.
Well,
More
okay, so
than ever.
for this one, the reason that he was able to get it produced, I assume, is because he was able to attract the attention of who?
Well, this is a canon film.
The Canon Film Group.
So
And we always think of Canon Films as like their big, splashy, expensive, throw everything at it, and then it.
and now they're like, we got a Pulitzer Prize winning writer here. Yes, we're going to make this movie.
Yeah, but they did that too. I mean, there was Canon movies that were serious.
Like Breaking.
Noted documentary break-in, yes.
So wow, so it's Canon Films. I also saw a producer credit. Francis Coppola
Francis Coppola,
produced this movie.
a friend, yeah.
Okay.
Zoetrope is listed in the credits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zoetrope,
So I mean, I guess I was aware of the movie existed.
Yeah.
I remember posters and the box at the video store back in the day when you went to.
So when seeing that, what did you think it was about?
I thought it was a crime film.
Okay.
I mean, I guess that's what right.
Well.
but I guess I wasn't prepared. And I suppose
No one's prepared.
some of the
No one's
audiences may be listening to this episode going like, okay, this seems like maybe it's a stretch for the Saturday Night Freak Show.
Oh, it's not. Tis not.
All right,
Tis
so
not
you
a
have to
stretch.
sell it to
Yeah.
those folks. What is the fucking tone
Right,
of this movie?
right.
What?
Serenity, but the 80s.
Right. So I think we need to understand that Norman Mailer was a force of a human being. He was very well known, but also psychotic.
Yeah, like
He's like
is he Regency?
kind of. He at one point ran for mayor of New York City,
okay.
which is exciting. That same year, he tried to kill his wife. And did
In what
time.
way?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, you shouldn't do that.
No, you shouldn't do that. He
Yeah, so
he
this is-
stabbed her twice
Okay.
and tried to kill her.
So this is
Yeah.
he's a wild card kind of
He's
guy.
insane. He,
Okay.
I mean, he's
How long did he go to jail?
uh,
A couple years?
3 years, I think. 3
Wow.
years.
All right.
Yeah.
New York City.
New York City. I mean,
it's not
and it was
the-
like
yeah.
they were
Not what?
It's
they were
usual.
literally
Yeah.
they were literally having a party to like celebrate his candidacy for mayor.
Oh my God. Okay, I'm sorry. That's
And-
hilarious.
Thank you. Yes.
Sorry,
Yes.
but
No, no,
that sounds like an episode of Arrested Development.
celebrate.
Like
it sounds like part of this movie.
yes, like it's not funny, but the way you described it is so fucking.
I know.
To celebrate the
So
beginning and
funny.
end of the
No,
story.
like, I need to like state right out like Norman Mailer. I'm pretty I didn't know the guy obviously, but I'm pretty sure he was like a chauvinist, awful person.
Yeah.
Right?
But can't
Seems
you
like
just hear the improv bit? Okay, so
Yeah.
we're gonna have a stabbing. Now we need a location.
Yeah.
The party to announce your candidacy for mayor.
For mayor of New York
Sounds
City.
like a whose line is it anyway? That
Yeah.
they pull out of a fucking
This-
hat.
Yeah,
it's
this was
insane.
And
yeah,
he's
it
like,
does.
"You
It does.
Insane. Yes.
This is
Oh
like
my
it's
God.
like a dark whose line is it anyway?
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
it's
so does
fucked
that.
up.
And that actually, okay. So I was actually thinking, watching this movie. I can't follow this because it's like reading a fucking Mad Lib, is what it feels like, right?
Yes.
It feels like shit.
Yes.
It's just, or I was thinking it feels like a script went through a shredder and then they tried to piece it back together, you know, with the little pieces, and it just doesn't make any sense.
As
But it sounds like his life doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense.
right,
So
his life doesn't
But it
make
does.
sense.
Like everything does seem to connect. It's just it's a narrative structure that's like
He's because
all
he's
over the
because
map.
he doesn't know how to write a screenplay.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's a novelist.
Right.
It feels like a novel.
It feels
Got
like a
some
novel.
very
plot.
interesting
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These
like,
don't speak like
interesting.
normal people.
No, but I like
This
that.
is
Like a fucking
okay. So
normal
it's
person.
But you're
hard,
right.
It's a hard boiled like noir, right?
Noir,
That's what he's going
but
for.
It's a hardboiled noir, but like he wants it to be like a Tennessee Williams play.
Yeah, it's so dramatic and so soapy. It does
like-
feel like
Southern Gothic,
yes,
but
there's-
also Mickey
there's-
Spillane.
Yes.
Okay.
There's mobsters and dames and broads and also, you know, Marlon Brando.
Yeah.
I mean, not actually, but
Yeah.
But we
No,
get
it's
Lawrence
also-
Tierney called
Yeah.
enough.
it's
Enough.
also Vivian Lee having a psychotic breakdown.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
that flavor. It's that flavor.
there's so much like bourbon day drinking on Phaeton,
Oh my
Phaeton
God,
couches.
so
that you're
much.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, is this the 20s, the 40s, the 80s?
Right,
What
exactly.
time is this? Yes.
Like-
is this the Great Gatsby?
Like, you
run
cannot-
through a stupid filter?
Like,
But,
you cannot tell me that he didn't want Ryan O'Neal to be Paul Newman and Cat on a Hit.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He's even limping.
Mhm.
Like, it's the same character. Like, it's neo-noir Tennessee Williams in the 80s with lots of cocaine,
This is what
boobies.
every writer- This is what every writer either thinks his life is like or wishes his life was
Yes,
like.
exactly.
basically.
I think Norman Mailer may have been both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I
like,
think
but,
that- 'cause
right,
he
but
was-
also Norman Mailer went through some of this
Yeah.
shit.
Like, I think he's like, there's a little bit of him in each of these characters. And the fact that there's a lot of him in The Chief is terrifying.
Yes. You think he's like, if I stab my wife,
He was
I could get a
yeah,
good book out of this.
He
in a
was
couple
married
years.
like 6 times, tried to kill his wife. Like, he was psychotic, right?
Wow.
There's Michaela, I don't know
hoping-
do you remember this? There's an episode of Gilmore Girls.
I was going to say the only thing I think of when I
Yeah.
think of Norman Mailer is how much of a shitty customer he was on Gilmore
This is
Girls.
fantastic. There's an episode of Gilmore Girls and
Called Norman Mailer, I'm Pregnant.
Norman Mailer, I'm pregnant. The entire episode, Melissa McCarthy is pissed because she's like the chef at this inn, and she's pissed because Norman Mailer and this dude are sitting there having like an interview the entire day and only ordering iced tea.
Yeah.
And she's pissed because she's like a chef and she wants to make food.
Right.
And she's like, they're only ordering. She even like goes out there and like offers like, I'll give it for free.
Yeah.
Like it's Stump the Chef Day. I'll make
Yeah.
anything you want. Like
Yeah.
it's the whole thing. Which, by the way, that's his son interviewing
Is
him
it?
on the show.
Yeah.
How does Norman Mailer get on Gilmore Girls?
Because
Who knows?
Because Amy Palladino understands that he's
Okay.
psychotic.
Yeah, yeah.
And she knows
That's
like
fair.
how epic Norman Mailer
Sure.
is, like
Yeah.
Okay.
in just a batshit crazy kind of way.
But it's like a whole B plot of this episode is
Yeah.
that he's a shitty customer just taking up a table and ordering
Yeah.
fucking food.
All
and
he
I was
wants
like,
is iced
yes.
tea. Yeah,
mhm.
it's funny. But
Well, you mentioned so Ryan O'Neal is in
Ryan
this
O'Neal
movie.
is in this
Ryan
movie.
O'Neal.
Correct.
So Ryan O'Neal, like
From Bones?
right? Yeah, he was. He was. In
I was
Bones.
gonna say I want to know like where you guys know Ryan O'Neal from.
The
like,
the latest thing is Bones.
okay.
Yeah.
Just because he played Bones' dad for many.
Did he? Okay.
Yeah, for the later seasons of the show. He
I
did.
know him from Barry Lyndon,
Okay.
the Stanley Kubrick movie
Yeah.
that like
Okay.
went shot forever and ever, and he's like lifeless. Ryan O'Neal is lifeless in that movie, but I guess he was big because of Love Story. Like,
Yeah.
have you seen this movie?
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
You have.
I
Yeah.
have not.
Okay, is it like because I guess adjusted for inflation, it's still one of the great, like the biggest box office success stories of all time,
Wow.
right? Love
Yeah.
means never having to say you're sorry.
Yeah.
Is that where
That
it comes
comes
from?
from yeah.
That's where it's from. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's a tragic tale. But
It is.
yeah, apparently gripped the world at
Oh,
the
yeah.
time it came out and made Ryan O'Neal a star.
Yeah.
And then
He did what was he did like a show. He was on was it
he was on like Peyton Place
Peyton
or
Place,
something
thank
like
you.
that.
He was on
yeah.
that for a long time. Yeah.
And then I think, in his private life, mostly known for he like dated Farrah Fawcett, was married to Farrah Fawcett, was
Yeah.
divorced from Farrah Fawcett, but like
From
was with
79 to
her.
97, and then from 2001 to 2009.
Yeah, and was
Yeah.
with her like through her like terminal,
Through her
cancer,
and then
yeah.
he had
Yeah.
terminal illness also and died a
Yes.
little while later after her.
Yeah.
See, I feel like I know him best for having a strained relationship with his daughter.
Yeah,
Like, I
Tatum.
feel like that's what he's most famous
Tatum
for to
O'Neal,
me.
yeah.
Like,
that's what I was like. I
Yeah.
know him from like the Tatum O'Neal stuff.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which
He's
is
got a
great.
couple kids,
Right,
right?
yeah.
Like
It's not
Griffin
great.
and Tatum,
Right.
and there's
Yeah.
one other one I think. Yeah.
Patrick.
Patrick O'Neal.
Yeah.
Paper Moon.
Yeah.
Paperman.
Paper Moon,
Yeah.
Fever Pitch. Anyone? Fever Pitch? Okay, I can't remember. Was
Not
that
the-
a Ken
not-
movie?
not the Jimmy Fallon one.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
Ryan
he's-
O'Neal is our star.
He's our star. Yeah.
A put upon guy. He's an ex-con.
Yes.
And what did he go away for? Oh, well, we know because that happens. So the movie's like told, I guess, out of sequence.
Very much.
Okay. So
It's
ex-con,
easy to get lost.
Ryan
Yeah.
O'Neal. We'll talk about some of the other folks who are in this movie as
Yeah.
we go. Wakes up one morning, apparently all beaten up,
Very out of sorts. Yes.
and here's somebody in his house. And so he goes down to the kitchen, and there is Lawrence Tierney,
yes.
right? Who I remember from Reservoir Dogs.
Yes.
Yep. Reservoir Dogs.
He motherfucker looks like the thing. Yeah.
Okay. Did Lawrence Tierney show up in a wheelchair in the Prowler? Who was in the wheelchair in the Prowler?
Oh, damn. That was
Oh.
Lawrence Tierney.
That was Lawrence Tierney.
That was
right?
Lawrence Tierney.
We
yeah.
saw him for a moment.
Yeah, that's right. He was like upstairs.
Yeah.
In the
Yeah.
in the Prowler.
Yeah.
But I guess he and I confess I have not seen his work, but
And Seinfeld, Master of the House. That whole
yeah. But he was like through the noir period of Hollywood, like the 40s, like in 50s gangster movies.
I mean, he's the epitome.
Yeah,
Was
he's
he
playing a
Dillinger?
gangster-
Did
he's
he
playing
play
a
John
gangster
Dillinger or
movie
something?
in every movie he's in?
Right.
He's
Like-
in a gangster movie.
Like
in
at this
movie.
point, it's just him, right?
yeah.
yeah. And
Like it's just him.
Yeah.
just he's got a bald head and he talks like
Yeah.
and very
It's like when you cast Joe Pesci, it's because you're casting
Yeah.
Joe Pesci.
He
He's
looks
got a
like
personality.
Kingpin, like in natural
Yeah.
life.
Right,
Like he
yeah.
just naturally looks like
He's
Kingpin.
natural Kingpin. Yeah, for
a
sure.
guy you probably wouldn't want to fuck with is basically
Yeah, I can't
Lawrence
imagine.
Tierney.
He,
All right, Ramblers.
like he looks like my relatives.
So
I was like, was he in Gotti, or was he even too good for that movie? Probably.
he was dead by
yeah.
then.
Was he?
Yeah,
Was he
whatever,
alive
dead.
at that
No,
point?
he's dead by then.
Probably.
But he should have been.
Yeah.
He would have been
So-
great.
Stacey Keach takes his role.
You're right. That's true.
and Lawrence Tierney is Ryan O'Neal. Ryan O'Neal is Tim,
Tim. Yes, Tim.
Tim.
and Lawrence Tierney is his dad. it
Yeah.
turns
Dougie.
out. And so this whole movie is going to kind of sort of unfold in flashbacks
Mm-hmm.
as Ryan O'Neal tells his dad that he's got a predicament on his hands.
Yeah.
What is that predicament?
Well, there are parts of 2 bodies in his basement. But we don't find that out right away.
And so did he kill them?
Good question. That's what we're going to spend the movie figuring out.
Yeah.
He has
Okay.
blackouts.
Is that what this movie's about?
Sure.
Okay, that gives me something to grab onto, and I have nothing right now.
Well, is
So
it a mystery? I mean, is it a whodunit?
It's a whodunit in the sense of they all did it, but which part?
Right. Because we're told, I mean, that I guess it takes a little while, I suppose, to get to that moment.
Yeah.
That, because dad's like, I know something's wrong, kid. Like, why don't you level with me? What is it? And so like, well, and then there's this whole thing that we'll get into. And then eventually the confession, no, there's more to it. What is it? I have bodies in my basement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Who killed them? Did you kill them?
I
Or
killed
what?
him, Colin. It was me.
Okay. So, Ryan O'Neal.
Yeah.
Right, Tim.
Yeah.
This guy Tim. He's a character who's
He's a kept man.
okay.
He married a rich woman.
Okay. Unhappy. We see him,
Unhappy.
right?
And we see it unfold how he married her and how it all came to be. But at this point, we just know that he married a rich woman who likes to have parties.
What's her name?
Patty.
Patty
No.
Latrice? No. It
No.
was
Come on.
Oh,
Come
shit.
on. Come on.
Was it Patricia?
They say it every time they say her name.
Patricia LeJeune.
Patty Lorraine.
Patty Lorraine.
Oh,
Thank
you
you very
said it
much.
like I was. Yeah, it is Patty, but it's
Patty
Patty Lorraine.
Lorraine.
Patty
Yeah.
Okay.
Lorraine.
It's always
no, it's
Patty
not just
Lorraine.
Patty. It's Patty Lorraine.
The actress, I'm sorry, I didn't recognize.
Deborah Sandlin.
Okay. I'm not sure.
She did a lot of TV.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how would you describe her?
A very exaggerated Southern.
She'd be a designing woman, I tell you that.
Yeah.
She'd be a sugar baker.
She wants to climb the ladder. She wants to climb the status ladder.
Okay. A gold digger?
Yeah.
Is that what we're looking for?
I mean, yes.
So she's new money.
But like
Nuevo riche.
Gold digger, I would associate like looking for like a quick like old man kind of situation. She's not really doing that.
Okay.
She's just trying to up her status and throw big extravagant parties and become more of a debutante.
Okay.
That's what she wants
It's all
to
about throwing a bitchin' party.
be. Yeah.
A bitchin' party.
Bitch.
That's what
where,
they all want to do.
I'll
throw so
sure.
many great parties.
right? I mean,
Everybody wanna
what?
come.
But what is she getting out of these? So she just wants to be like the person who's known for throwing the parties.
She wants-
the best socialite
Yeah,
in the
she
world.
wants to be a socialite. She wants to be.
Is it that, or is it? I'm just curious. Was there also like a drug dealing component of this?
Like she wanted to.
Is she selling?
Well, I don't think that was her like end goal. I think she wanted to
No.
do that to get to where she
Yeah,
wanted to go.
I think she's just.
I don't think
open-
she wanted to run a drug empire continuously.
No,
Okay, I
she's
wasn't sure if that was part of
she's
the
open
party
to-
thing.
No, she
It's
saw
like-
an opportunity.
She's
and she
open
wanted
to
use
avenues that will get her the
Yes,
cash.
Doesn't matter
Okay.
what it is.
And she wants cocaine at the party,
Yeah.
but she doesn't necessarily need to sell it.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And she
got
has
people.
become unhappy with poor Tim,
Yeah.
who used to be her chauffeur.
Right.
I
so
don't even know how
You know, I
we're going
used to
to
be a chauffeur.
explain
Maybe
this
she's got a
plot to
thing.
people
Right, I was
without going
I was like,
back.
how do we? Because for us, the story unfolds through flashbacks,
And-
Yep.
It's like
So, like, this-
flash sideways.
flash sideways, flash forwards, flash diagonalways.
Yeah.
Like we don't understand what's happening.
Did you
until
like
it
that
happened.
about it?
Yes and no.
I think
I
not
did-
at first, and
did-
then later on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, did I like it? At first, I hated it, and then after a while, it was hilarious.
Yeah. Well, it did. It filled in a lot of stuff. Like you're
Yeah.
introduced to people, and you're like, okay, this guy's having a really bad day. Who is
Right.
he? Like, and what? Okay,
Right.
his wife has left him. Okay, she ran off with the new chauffeur. Right. Okay. And so now he's in, and he's got these bodies in the basement. And then it's like, okay, well, whose bodies are there? And so apparently, after his wife left him, right, he despondent went to the local bar to have just a quiet drink by
Right.
himself.
Like you do.
Right.
His
You
name
do.
is Jessica and Larry?
Lenny.
Lonnie.
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 Lonnie Pangborn.
Yeah.
Yes.
and Jessica. Jessica is played by Frances Fisher. This is Clint Eastwood's current ex-wife.
She was
Rose's mom from Titanic.
She was in Titanic. She was
Unforgiven.
In, the TV show Titus.
Right.
She's been in a lot of stuff.
So,
wow, Titus reference.
and who is she playing?
She's
Jessica
Pond.
Yeah,
A former adult film star.
So, but that was
movies.
This is the kind of movie that we're in because that's presenting. It's like shocking. It's like you find out, like, okay, there's this wealthy woman and her wealthy husband.
This is like playing Clue.
Come into a bar and they're sitting there like, oh, darling, blah, blah, blah.
Right. Norman Mailer has no idea what year it is.
Yeah. And then it's revealed. She's like, oh, yes, I used to be in films.
I used to be in films, darling. You might recognize me from adult films, X-rated films, Triple X.
She drank a cigarette.
You know that kid in school that would always tell the most outrageous lies with like a straight face and just be like, yeah, well, my cousin's the Undertaker or whatever. They would just make up their own list and like would never let it go and just thought everyone believed their lies. I feel like that's kind of Norman Mailer. Like I feel like he goes for the edgiest, weirdest thing a person could say just for shock value almost.
Yeah.
But he's like, but no, that totally would happen. And it's like, we barely scratched the surface on the weird fucking dialogue in this movie.
That happened. That is like the experience you have watching this movie. It's like every word that comes out of, like every response is like the most extreme edgy
People
thing.
don't
Most
talk
extreme
like that.
edgy thing ever. Yes.
Well, it's kind of got that noir thing. Like Ryan O'Neill's dialogue and delivery is like, you know, like simple one word, you know, like answers, which I like that, you know, it's like you could see a lot like what's, you know, I said in Barry Lyndon, you couldn't read him. In this one, you actually can.
His character reminded me of William Holden in Sunset Boulevard.
Okay. All right.
Right?
Yeah.
A little bit. The way he talks, the way his like inner dialogue is and everything.
Because it's that, I mean, it comes from like 40s film noir.
Right, yeah.
The voiceover comes in every now and again.
Yeah.
And it's just like, she died that night, and I had to go back to my house to figure out what happened. And while I was there, someone knocked me out.
Yeah.
I wouldn't find out who.
I changed the number of the shaving cream on my mirror every day.
And then he's always like, so this is going to be like, you know, the guy trying to, you know, I guess it is a noir plot then, right?
Yeah,
like
it is.
the guy trying to prove his innocence.
I blacked out again
But he
last
doesn't
night.
know if he is the guy who actually did it.
He had that wild night where he met this couple and he remembers
A wild night. What happened?
Can wait, hold on. What, guys, why are surgeons so happy?
Why, Sean?
Because they cut people up and it's fun? Was that the answer to it?
But the answer to that, the reply is from Frances Fisher. It's like
the most maniacal laugh ever. Yes.
So she has totally taken a shine to this guy and invites him back with her and her husband to their.
They go back to his place.
Okay.
Yeah, they go back to Tim's house where they're sitting and having some cocaine.
Yes.
And
as you do.
like you do.
And Lonnie is cocked.
Yeah, and he's like, I could have your woman right now if I wanted to, and he was like, oh, could you? Well, if it's okay with her. And he's like, oh, it's okay with her. And then she goes down on him.
Yeah.
Like, see, this tells like a fake story he would tell. Like it totally happened to me.
This is like Penthouse Letters or whatever.
He wrote for Playboy for a very long time.
He did.
He read them all. He wrote probably the letters.
Yes.
Who knows?
But he's also like done some crazy shit where he can just lie and be like, I don't know, it could have happened.
That's what I'm saying. Like Norman Mailer, he's walking that line. Like he had a crazy life, but he also like thinks he had a crazy life. Like you don't know.
Yep.
You don't know.
All right, we're going to get into the weeds here, folks, and this is going to start getting like
we may not get out of them.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to come out of this.
But Michaela's going to live in the weeds.
Yes.
So so
she's found her bog.
Yeah.
These two folks, right?
Which two?
Yeah, which two?
This is Jessica and Lonnie Pangborn.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Apparently never returned to their...
They go missing.
Yes. The next morning he wakes up...
With he finds his bloody jean jacket in his car with blood in his car.
That's usually a sign that, you know...
Something bad's happened,
right.
I would think. That's, yeah.
He's that means you're a werewolf and you didn't...
Right.
Yeah.
Right, correct.
When he's got a tattoo on his... Like, he doesn't remember. And the tattoo says Madeline, and we're like, who the fuck is Madeline?
The introduction of these elements is just quick.
Yeah.
And just
you're like,
out of nowhere and wonderful. It's like, and then I notice the new tattoo I had on my arm.
Yeah.
But the thing is, gentle listener, we are laughing the whole way through this movie,
yeah.
but that's not the intention. Like, I don't feel like you're supposed to be laughing at this movie as much as we are.
That's what I'm saying. The tone is like, is it though? Because at the end of this movie, there's a music selection and a visual like that we're looking at where it does seem absurdity is the intention. And, it's like, is he playing with like, I'm just going to be edgy. Like, it's just going to be absurd. And some of the performances are like right
We're
up
looking
there.
At you, Wings Hauser.
Yeah.
May he rest.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. So,
Rip.
I mean, okay. So that's where we lead into.
This movie was made completely seriously.
Well,
It was made completely seriously. It wasn't until they had the premiere and Norman Mailer watched the entire audience laugh and heckle the movie. Then he started marketing it as, it's supposed to be funny.
you should see the trailer.
Cannon was pissed at him because they're like, what are you doing? You're totally like,
they were like, this was Oscar bait.
yeah, they're like, what are you doing?
But that would explain. I mean, yes, I can see those guys not understanding it.
Yeah.
But so you're saying he didn't try to get one over on them.
No.
It's
They had read his book, right? I mean, it was already there.
Right.
This is like a serious, like, noir drama.
It's just like The Room. Tommy Wiseau said he was making a straight drama
thing.
that was not supposed to be funny, and now he says it's a dark comedy.
Yep.
It's
Same
classic
situation.
move. Yes.
You should see the trailer. Norman Mailer tries to pitch the movie to you
please
after
don't.
reading the
It's
audience
gross and
notes.
disgusting.
No one who's ever read a novel has written this. Yeah.
Which I agree with that now, having seen the movie. I agree. No one who's ever read a novel has written this movie. I agree.
So, Wings Hauser shows up.
Yes.
Wings Hauser, Holly picked this movie.
Holly murdered Wings Hauser.
I picked this movie, and then a few days later, we found
Not
out,
even a few days. I think it was like
a day later.
like a day later.
We found out that Wings sadly has passed away.
So we're doing this. This is a posthumous tribute to Wings Hauser.
In memoriam.
We haven't gotten a Vice Squad yet.
Yeah.
I was like, that's well, that was I think like his breakout role.
Yeah.
He was on what? He was a soap star, right?
Well, I
Young
mean,
and
he
the
was-
Restless.
With that dramatic face, I believe.
Yeah, I think he was on Young and the Restless, and then he had a stint on 90210, which
Wow.
that's close to my heart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Was
Roseanne,
he evil in
was
all
on.
of them? Because he
No,
He was like
can he
sleazy
play
on 90210. Like he wasn't good, he wasn't bad. He was just kind of
That's the way the world works.
What was the
He's enjoyable.
character that Danielle Harris played on Roseanne?
Like little Daniel Harris?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't
He-
know.
I don't
he
remember.
She did.
Him and Sally Kirkland or Kellerman were her parents.
Oh.
okay.
I think, right? Am I right on that?
I have no
I
idea.
don't know.
She'll have posted to Instagram if he was her dad and something. Let's see.
Yeah. Because he was on Roseanne for a while. But yeah, Vice Squad is like the one he's forever going to be
I
remembered
watched
for.
Roseanne, but like I don't have a good memory of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Except everybody kind of showed up there at some point or another.
Yeah.
After-wise.
We actually did a Wings Hauser movie on this show. Do you remember?
We did.
He was in a wheelchair. He was commenting on Rubber, the killer
I
tire
was gonna
movie.
say it was
Right.
Rubber. Yeah.
Wasn't that like your first pick? Or one
Yeah,
of
it
your
was an
earlier-
early one. Yeah. It was
Yeah.
an early one.
Great movie.
Well, may he rest. Wings
May he
Hauser
rest.
is a very father of Cole, right? Who's
Father-
on
yeah, Father Cole Hauser.
Yellowstone,
Yeah.
Cole Hauser, but a very intense performer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he has
Over
an
the
intense
top?
face. So
He plays for the back of the room.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he wants you to see that face.
Yeah.
He's animated. He's
I mean, it could be director not reining him in, but I think the reason you cast Wings Hauser is because there's a little bit of like the crazy, like
A
he's
little bit. Yeah.
I think so.
A little bit. Based
Little
on that
bit?
one pull-out shot of him standing in his office as sheriff, just
He's like he
burning in my memory forever.
he is just one step away from Jack Nicholson in the Joker.
That's the
as
first.
the Joker.
I'm like,
yeah.
what? He's like any part that Jack didn't get, Wings Hauser got.
Okay.
It feels like.
They're
'cause
like
he's got
we can't get Jack. It's not that good, so we're gonna get Wings.
that. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
Jack is like, nah, I'm not doing that.
And
Wings is like, I'll
unhinged.
fucking do it.
He feels dangerous.
He does,
I guess,
all the time.
Like it feels in any scene like you don't know what he's going to do. There was one scene in this
Unpredictable,
movie
yeah.
where I think he was relating a story about like just out of the blue, some serial killer.
Oh, killer with the pictures.
Yeah, there's this guy. He lived with his mother. He took pictures of. He'd date this woman. He'd take a picture, then he'd kill her. He'd take the picture, and he's like doing it. Yeah, licking his finger and paste them. I'm like, that's an actor
In a
choice.
book. Yeah, yeah. He read that. And he's like, oh fuck yeah, like yeah. He was excited about doing this scene that day.
Yeah,
Like, how's the lighting?
why did you tell me that
dramatic
story?
and just overhead.
Because it gets me off.
I'm a fucking investigator, and it gets me off.
And so that's
Did it
also,
get you off? Was it good for you?
Yeah,
not the way you told it, or you told
I'm
it
like
wrong.
that. Well, maybe that's why police get into doing this stuff. It's like, oh god, I want to fucking solve this crime.
I like that you pull at your.
I stopped touching my nipples on that one.
Sean started to rip his clothes off.
Yeah.
Oh,
But that is kind
murder,
of
larceny.
that is the tone that we're going for.
Yeah.
That we're trying to convey for this movie. So Wings Hauser is the new
Chief.
of police.
Yeah.
Regency.
His name is
Luther Regency.
Luther Regency. He stops over at
What a
one of the
name.
Alan
parties.
Luther Regency.
Yeah.
Something like
Alan
That's
Luther
what it was.
Regency, Yeah. What a name.
It's a great name.
And he stops over at one of the parties to basically introduce himself, even though everybody's
he's
like
like-
doing drugs and
He's
everything
like,
around.
turn the music down. And she's like, do you want to come in? He's like, yes, I do.
So,
Eating, just walking through the dancing,
Yeah.
looking at the.
so
that's a cop
well,
movie.
but he's investigating the disappearance of these two socialites, right?
Are these the two whores?
No, Jessica and Jesus Christ! I'm
where's
like,
the two whores? I think I may have missed the two whores thing.
This
Okay.
is where I start to get completely off the rails with this.
Right. So the house that they live in.
Yep.
that
Ryan
Tim
O'Neill
and
Tim and Patty.
Tim and Patty
With that
Lorraine.
fucking awesome office with the view.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Tim and
okay.
Patty Lorraine
Love it.
live in a
Patty
house,
Lorraine.
and Patty Lorraine is convinced that there are two spirits in this house of women who used to live there. They were sex workers.
Yes.
Who were
Whores.
They're frequently referred to as the two dead whores.
The two dead whores, yeah.
Which I wish I could wear that on a hat or a shirt and it'd be socially acceptable. But
That's
they
a
were
brewing company.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
dead whores brewing.
It's a threat.
That's what it is.
Copyright
That's a pub.
2025.
That is the name of a pub.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
Two
want to go
dead
down
whores.
to Two Dead Whores?
Yes. Oh God, I want to pub that name.
and it's named that because that's like the alley where two dead whores were found
Right, yeah.
behind
Long
the
time
bar.
ago.
Yeah.
I love this.
During Prohibition.
Yeah.
I love this so much.
If we Google it, I wonder if
They
there's.
put like
Anyway,
a metal
so
plaque in the on the wall, in memoriam.
this
love it.
thread goes
Taffet and
through
Alyssa.
the movie for like so
whole
long,
movie,
and we're like,
yeah.
what the? Because Patty Lorraine has a seance,
seance.
where because
She's-
she's
There's
Fucking
disturbed.
seance in this.
She's convinced. She's like they're upset that they're dead. I guess I don't know, but she wants to bring their spirits forth.
Because they realize they've been around for at least 100 years, and they
Yeah.
realize they're old, and they don't like that. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
and
she
then
wants to,
something
like,
happens.
Bring
at the
their
seance?
spirits forth.
At the
Yeah, this is
seance,
where I
yeah.
decided this was used. Like, I'm gonna bring them back.
This is me.
This is Holly. It was like we decided we're slowly figuring out everyone's future. Obviously, McKenna's a bog witch. Holly will become a southern socialite who's gonna have seances.
A glam
and bring back
witch.
A
dead
glam
whores.
witch, yeah.
Yeah.
I am so here for
Yeah.
this.
It's wonderful.
I was meant to move to Savannah.
Yes.
I'm just saying.
You walk around with that like little umbrella, and you just like, it's hot today. Oh my dear.
There's a lot of that in this
There
movie
is.
too, but that comes
Because it wants to be a
courtesy-
Southern Gothic.
Yeah, right.
I love it so
Even though
much.
it takes place in like Massachusetts or something.
It's
isn't it?
it's
Provincetown,
Provincetown, which I've been to.
Massachusetts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like she says, it's on like a little end of the curly tip of Massachusetts, and you can take a ferry from Boston to there.
There you
So
go. Yeah, they're talking
Yeah.
about Boston being closed.
Yeah,
too.
but it should be noted that this was actually filmed in Provincetown,
you can
Massachusetts.
tell.
Yeah, you can tell.
In Norman Mailer's house.
Yeah, nice.
Okay. So what I've still got two dead people in the basement. Wings Hauser, right, investigating, but also seemingly interested in Ryan O'Neill's wife, who has gone missing.
Because Wings Hauser like knows that like he has like a bloody jacket in his Jeep because he calls him and he was like, you should clean your Jeep out.
Yeah. And then he calls him down to the police station. He's like,
and that's when he tells him about
you got to get rid of your stash. Like,
so
I
much
know your
marijuana
next
talk.
So much.
It's like, so he's Ryan O'Neill's got a side business. He deals marijuana.
Right.
The state troopers may know where it is.
Okay. I want someone to describe the stash real quick. Just because you said state troopers might know where it is. How?
If you go far enough back in the woods, Sean,
in any general direction,
down by the creek.
Okay, so I just have to wander the woods and I'll find weed.
I will say though, there is a path right there. Like it's not off.
Yeah, but it's like
path.
boulders over a hole. Like it's you have to
and
move.
like what path? Where? Like this guy drove on a dirt road for who knows how long to get to this. Like. The fact that there is suspicion that someone might know where this is,
this is a clue,
fucking ridiculous.
They make
for us to like to the solution of this mystery. But he says, it's like the state troopers are looking into you, and you got to move your stash because he's the sheriff who's on top, but he knows everything that's going on. It's like, buddy, I met you at the party the other night. I like you. Okay, you got to move your drug stash. So Ryan O'Neil.
The best part about that scene though is just Wings Hauser going through paperwork.
Yeah, just signing his name and
signing papers with a pencil.
With a pencil, and just the sound work in this, it just felt good. You hear it signing, tapping it. You can hear it. It's good, thick paper that he's moving to a different pile. I don't know. It hit me right. I liked it. I love office work in a movie.
Yeah, Sean loves paperwork.
Yeah, love paperwork, love files.
Well, Ryan O'Neil, of course, dutifully goes like, okay, fine, the heat is on, and so I'm going to go move my drug stash. Goes
the fuzz
down,
is close.
And what does he find in the burrow?
Blonde hair.
Blonde hair in a garbage bag.
Yeah.
Two garbage bags.
Two garbage bags with blonde hair sticking out. Clearly a head. We don't see whose head.
Yeah, I think we see an eyeball.
Right. Yeah. I think the first time we're under the impression, because he goes back and finds the second head,
yes.
There's actually two heads in the burrow.
How many heads?
Two blonde women. Apparently.
And we do have to note that at this point, we're like well into the movie, and we finally get an introduction to the second billed person in this cast, who's Isabella Rossellini.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Who seems like an afterthought to the whole movie.
Right.
But okay. Who is she?
The random tattoo that he got at the beginning of the movie, Madeline. She's Madeline.
And who is she?
So she is his ex-girlfriend.
Was it his ex-wife?
Ex-girlfriend. I don't think they ever got married.
Oh, that's right, because they were going to get married.
Yeah. So his ex-girlfriend, who is now married to Wings Hauser.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because Wings is like, Madeline?
Yeah,
I'm married to her.
She's my wife.
You're like, what? My Madeline? Yes. And you're like, oh shit. Okay.
It's like this Madeline?
The one I got tattooed on my arm? Okay, the plot thickens.
Yes.
Who is Madeline?
Thickens
exactly. How did those two kids meet up?
He was a bartender previously.
Ah, right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And she would come in when he was tending bar, and that's how they met. She had just moved there. She was modeling. She was from Italy, and he fell in love with her.
Okay, all right, I'm with you. All right, that happens. They flirt, and then they're like, okay, torrid love affair.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually,
it lasts for a couple years, and then they actually fall for each other. They move in together.
Yeah. But then love, as we know, is only one side of the street, and what is the other side?
He's trying to be a writer.
The other side is variety.
Yes, they discuss in that scene.
And so
he's like, by the way, I've you see this like nudie magazine? Well, there's the personal ads.
Screw Magazine.
Screw Magazine,
which is a newspaper.
I like how he just picks it up. Yeah, it's a real thing.
I found something in Screw Magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And then
it's just kind of like so I found in the personal ads.
Yep.
There's this Christian couple from I thought they were from North Carolina, but it was in Florida.
No, they're in North Carolina.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're going to drive to.
He's like, we need a vacation. Why don't we go check it out?
They're not going to Florida.
Okay. And so you're like, okay, so she's cool with this, I guess. I don't know. But so they go on a road trip.
Yeah, but he's like, we're just going to go check them out. He's like, nothing's going to happen. We're just going to go kick the tires,
This is what happens 2 years into your relationship.
And who is the man in this couple?
This was a surprise. I guess it was announced in the casting.
But I'd already forgotten. Yeah, I'd already forgotten. It was Penn.
Penn
and Teller.
Oh, yeah, right. That's right.
Yes.
Is like, what was his name? Big Jew?
Big Stoop.
Big Stoop.
Big Stoop.
Okay, now when Ryan O'Neil and
Isabella Rossellini.
No. When Ryan O'Neal and
Patty Lorraine.
Patty Lorraine are in bed. Like, are the other ones
in the next room?
Okay, in the next room?
Yeah, I don't think they're in the next room. I think they're in the same room.
I think so, too.
I think it's like that scene in Fargo.
Yes. Yeah. I think it is cut.
I think
they are right there in the next bed, and
I
they
think
decided
they're right
not
there.
to show
Yeah.
it. Because I think I heard some overlap in audio from them as well.
They're in the next bed. Like,
exactly.
She's with Big Stu, and he's with Patty Lorraine, but we're like, this is how we met Patty Lorraine. And she was not a socialite at this point in time.
No, she's trying to work her way up.
Yeah, she appreciates his plan. Action.
She's like, you will stay poor, and I will do the marrying.
There's a lot of calling people trailer trash and stuff in this movie.
Yeah,
there's a lot of this. I mean, there's a lot of that. There's a lot of like everyone is kind of going, especially Ryan O'Neal, like ups and downs in wealth throughout this movie. Like he's on top, he's on bottom. Like, the social scene.
I also feel like I need to give people like a trigger warning that there's a lot of homophobia in this movie.
A lot. Oh my god, the F slur is all over
it's all over the place.
Yeah.
I don't condone that.
And it doesn't really.
We'll recommend this movie.
It's not really relevant to the movie, which is weird. It's just not.
I think this is a Norman Mailer thing. I think he is homophobic,
like
but also like I think he has latent homosexual tendencies.
Yeah, for sure.
Probably both.
Well,
because
based on the dialogue.
Because it doesn't need to necessarily be in the movie, but it feels like it's punctuated because he wants it to be punctuated.
Yeah, exactly.
Because
homophobia usually goes hand in hand with that.
Okay, well, so what's the title of? Where's the title of the movie?
Yeah, let's talk about this because I got questions. It comes from that monologue that his
Lawrence
dad
Tierney,
gives.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like something he was afraid that. No, was that it? Like started with like you were afraid that like he was going to be gay, Ryan O'Neal, right? And he was like, but you weren't. And then
I always wondered about that.
I went to about the prison. I went to prison and I never became a punk.
I never became a punk. That's how he puts it.
I took all my showers standing up. Ooh. Boy, is what he said.
Yeah, and then he says,
I take most of my showers standing up. I don't know about you guys.
So,
that's not.
But in prison,
it's a homophobic thing.
I know.
Yeah.
But his dialogue. Then it was like somebody keeps singing to me, and I keep telling him,
"Well, it was
tough guys don't dance."
Yeah, it's
he quit drinking.
His dad is talking. I think he's talking about his cancer. He's talking about someone told him to keep dancing, and he said, "Tough guys don't dance."
So there's like some kind of. But I guess
something.
Is that what like where all the homophobia comes from? It's like is this like trying to be like a super masculine, either the character? Or,
I think so.
Yeah, it feels like it.
Like it's Norman Mailer trying to.
It's
work
like how he said. There's that hyper masculinity which Norman Mailer seems to like, but also the latent homosexuality is
just in the relationships.
This movie's riddled with it.
Do you think that he really thought that title would sound like a noir title? Like, don't 100%. You see like a noir character saying it? But it doesn't come off that way.
No, it doesn't.
And actually, when you said we were doing a movie called Tough Guys Don't Dance, and that it was a canon movie, the image I got in my head was some like wacky family comedy where like tough was going to be TUFF, like I don't know, some fish out of water type
Mr. and
movie.
Mrs. Tough?
Yeah, or like, like some tough guy gets thrown into like a ballet or something and has to like, overcome his toxic masculinity to be a good ballet player.
I'm dancing this ballet to help out.
No, but
I don't like this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
But then he finds out he's like really good at it and he has a passion for it.
Exactly.
And then he goes on to win the big thing at the end of the movie. Oh yeah. You can see it.
See? Right?
I love this.
That's the whole vision I have. Yes, exactly. Especially knowing it was a canon film, I didn't expect this is gonna be a hard boiled.
Right, no, that would be the way this canon would go. Yes,
I love it.
Yeah.
So
like the gay cowboy musical at the end of Breakin'.
Yeah.
Well, you guys didn't believe
like Rhinestone, but instead of instead of a country singer, it's like a ballet dancer. I know. I really need to bring Rhinestone, but
yes, you are correct.
Yeah.
All right, so we know that Patty Lorraine, right? She's like, well, she keeps referring to herself. She's like a redneck, right? Who is now married. She wants to marry a rich guy, and when she does, she will then take care of Ryan O'Neal.
Yes.
Right.
So she marries. Oh crap! What was this guy's name?
Wardley.
Wardley. Okay.
Oh, Wardley.
Wardley like steals this goddamn movie, and this is what is it? John Bedford.
John Bedford Lloyd.
He made an impression. Like I recognize him right off the bat because he was in James Cameron's The Abyss.
He's been in a lot of stuff actually. He was in The Manchurian Candidate. He was in Super Troopers. He was in Riding Cars with Boys, Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps.
Is he?
He's been in a lot of stuff actually.
Wait a minute. He was in Super Troopers.
He's the mayor.
Was he the guy who went, spread it on? He is! Fuck! That's crazy.
He was in Chud, which we haven't brought that yet, have we?
Haven't brought Chud
no,
yet.
We haven't done Chud.
It's been on all of our lists for a long time, but yeah.
Yeah. So
funny.
Who is Wardley then?
Wardley went to Exeter with Tim. They were schoolmates back in the day.
They both got kicked out?
They both got kicked out, yeah.
I forgot what for.
He comes off as like he's like the southern like he should be wearing one of them white brimmed hats.
I don't have the temperament for this imbroglio.
With a cane,
That made me laugh.
in a white suit.
That's the best. I love an imbroglio.
He's got that perfect Savannah accent.
Really
It's so great. Just rolls off his tongue like molasses.
Yeah. So he
great.
is okay, so he's the money man.
Yeah.
Basically.
He was born
right?
into money. Like it's family money, yeah.
And and Patricia has plotted with Tim to kill Wardley. Tim didn't.
She keeps asking
Lorraine, sorry.
She keeps asking him to kill Wardley, but he can't do it.
Right.
Oh yeah, that was the original thing.
But then somehow she ended up married to Tim, and now she's left Tim.
Yeah, she just like left Wardley, just divorced him instead of killing him.
Later on he's like, marry me again.
Yeah.
We could do great things.
Yeah. So she just got like alimony instead of all of his money.
Right.
Yeah.
But now she wants more of his money.
Yep. So, okay, at this point, I confess I am lost.
Sure.
Where we are in the plot, because now we have like 15 characters, right?
And really cutting in on timelines at different points.
All right, so maybe at this point we should just what happened?
So
what's the story?
The couple
here?
went missing, right?
Yes,
and they know that Tim was the last person to see them.
Okay,
they know this much, so they're looking into Tim.
Right. There were witnesses at the bar that night.
They're like, look, the car is still in the parking lot of the inn, and then they discover the body was in the trunk of the car.
Right, of Lonnie, right?
Lonnie,
trunk of the car.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so okay, let me try and work this out. So Isabella Rossellini.
Yes.
Discovers and lets because they reconnect, right? Tim and her reconnect.
Right.
She lets him know a crucial piece of
He calls her and he's like,
she's the one that got away, right?
Yeah,
one true love.
She's the tattoo.
Yeah.
And he's like, your husband told me that you're in town and you're happy. You've got 2 boys, and she's like, what? I can't have kids. You know this.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's like, those are his nephews.
Their whole relationship went off the road. Literally, when they were coming back from swinging with the couple in Florida.
She was upset from the incident, and they were arguing in the car, and he drove off the road, and they got into a car accident, and she lost the ability to have children.
Right.
Yeah.
So now she's back, but she lets him know, right? Like, take this letter back to home and then read it.
First she's like, I'm happy and with him.
In my house with red carpet.
Yeah.
Yeah, with Wings Hauser, right?
Right.
Who's got so many guns.
And
we do it twice a night.
And sometimes...
we make out 5 times a day. That's why I call him Mr. 5.
I know, everybody's like trying to one-up
nickname.
each other. Because what was it? There's some like great lines where like, I hear you really love your wife. No more than twice a week. You know?
Yeah. But that's the kind of like the play staging of it. Those lines feel like it'd be great on a stage if you're watching.
Yeah, but it's like, it's hard boiled. I mean, that is that kind of detective story.
Yeah.
So she lets him know.
Gives him a letter that he takes to the beach to read, because you have to take it and be dramatic with it. You can't just take it home.
Waves crashing.
He's got to go to a fucking pylon out by the beach.
Yeah.
To read this, it's quite a trip.
And she says, I've discovered that my husband is having an affair with your wife.
And he goes, oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Oh man!
As the camera spins around its whole world.
Yes.
Oh, man.
And he says that like 7 or 8 times. It felt like that they left every take in, right?
Every
like they
one
just
of
didn't cut any of them.
They're like, just go.
Yeah.
We'll cut somewhere.
And then they didn't.
And they're like, we'll never cut.
Yeah.
So,
It's so good.
all right.
Is that a GIF reaction? Because it should be, right?
I
Yeah,
hope
yeah,
so.
that one-
Oh, it's
God.
If let's put it this way.
Beautiful.
If
God.
Holly can find the Shatner
The Shatner point
I
from
found that really
Impulse.
fast.
Yeah.
From Impulse.
then this has got to be one somewhere.
Yeah.
I'll look into it.
Okay, so to solve this mystery,
Yeah.
I guess who killed? So who are the two
Right.
heads? Who do they belong to?
Yes.
Patty, Lorraine, and Jessica.
Yes.
Who killed them, and why?
Right. So Patty Lorraine killed Jessica
Why?
because she was annoying.
Well, she found out that
Casualty of a drug deal.
her husband, Wings Hauser, was having an affair
That's
with.
not her husband.
Oh,
Tim's her husband.
that's right. See,
God
okay.
damn it.
But
It's
she's
all unraveled.
okay. That's
Okay,
it. She's
yeah.
having an affair with Wings Hauser,
Yes.
and she's upset that he is also having an affair with
Right.
Jessica.
Because not a day goes by that he doesn't have 2 women in a day.
That's
yes,
right.
he
Yes.
says this is part of his gloat later on. Yes.
I need a flow chart for this movie. I
Yeah.
can't
No,
follow
we're-
all the connections.
Wings
We got
Hauser
this.
fucked.
Yeah.
We got this. We're
well,
doing it.
everybody
We
has
got
fucked
this.
everybody in this movie,
Yes.
except that one girl who she has not fucked Ryan O'Neal. She tells us at the bar.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. The random girl that was at the seance.
Oh,
she,
yeah.
she puts on the beret. And
Yes,
everything.
yeah, that's right.
Right.
Yeah, she's like, isn't it strange that we've never fucked?
I mean, it is in this
It
movie.
is a- yeah,
Like
this
Daria
world, yeah.
Nickelodeon. Like that
Yeah,
kind of felt like her. Yeah.
So
It was such a weird line, but then after all, like, yeah, it is kind of weird.
it is kind of
Yeah,
weird
Yeah.
because everyone, I can't even follow this. Like everybody's
Because she stopped with him and went like, huh, I'll be damned.
Isn't it weird?
I'm the only one who hasn't done this.
Like, big gulps, huh? All right, see you later.
See you later.
so
Okay.
she kills.
Yeah, Patty Lorraine killed Jessica. She
Yeah.
shoots
shot her
her.
in the mouth.
Okay,
Yeah.
now if you're following, Jessica is one of the two people who has gone missing.
She's putting $2 million into a drug deal.
Right. They've come up with an arrangement that
Yeah.
they're going to become cocaine dealers.
Yep.
So
Which needs an
but
investment.
they need the money. So they go back to Wardley, her first husband, and ask him for $2 million. Be the money backer. We're going to get into the cocaine business.
Yeah.
And Wardley will do anything that Patty says, like anything at all.
Yeah.
So he's in because what else has he got going on in his life? Nothing.
To avoid an imbroglio again, he will just give the money.
His delivery
It's
on so much is like
good.
perfect.
You lean forward. He's just like, I want to listen to this.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what he's saying.
I
but it sounds
legit
great.
want him in every movie. I
Yeah.
really do.
A monologue in every one.
He's
You must
fantastic.
excuse me. I feel sick to my stomach. I'm going to get up now, and I do not believe you. You know, like
I do not believe you, but I do declare.
Okay, so that's one death.
Okay.
Right? We got
Yeah.
Jessica was killed by Patty Lorraine.
Yeah.
But Lonnie, Jessica's husband, who may be having a gay affair with Wardley,
Right.
who killed him?
Jessica.
Why?
Because he was
Because he
annoying.
was being a bitch.
Because he's like, while Ryan O'Neal is screwing his wife, he's like, why won't you listen to me? Or what was it? There was a hilarious scene where we pan over.
Oh, right. Where they're having sex outside on the
Let
car.
me talk.
Why won't you let me talk to you? Let me tell
Let
you.
me talk.
Let me speak. Yeah. All right, so
Like,
he's murdered.
How did we get here?
There were so many times watching this movie where I was like, wait, what are we doing right now? And what is like the goal of what we're doing? And I never had an answer.
Just to show
Yeah,
you the
yeah.
scandalous
I just-
life of these people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody is just so
Morally corrupt
yeah, and
in one way or another.
Yeah. Okay, so Lonnie was killed
Entertainingly
by
so.
Jessica.
Yep.
Jessica was killed by Patty Lorraine.
Yep.
Nope.
And then but Patty Lorraine is one of the heads who killed her.
Wardley.
Why?
Because
Well,
So
because
Wings Hauser
she's
didn't
like
kill anybody?
she says I want us to be friends, but I found another lover.
Right.
which is Tim.
No, this is
the woman.
Oh, Wings Hauser.
This is Wings Hauser. That she's talking about now.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and he's jealous, and so he shoots her.
Because she wants $10 million out of Wardley.
Right.
Yep, they're going to extort him
for more money.
She's like, oh, darling, the cocaine never existed. I want $10 million.
It's a scam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And this is pretty bold on her part because it's just like, what does she have that she'll put him in the papers again? This is what she's using to blackmail him for
his
affair,
his gay relationships.
That's what she was threatening him with, right? Okay.
I think so.
Yes.
If I remember right. Just more homophobia.
Because he had been in trouble before, and he couldn't go through it again, which was his whole thing.
Yeah.
And so he's like, pow!
Yeah, so he grabs this little gun that is the culprit for many murders in this.
Yeah,
a little silencer on it.
Yeah.
Can't have more than 5 bullets in it, but
teeny tiny.
very tiny gun. And shoots Patty Lorraine.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So she's gone.
So she's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And then
who beheads her?
Because
Wings Hauser.
Yeah, right. But Spider, who we haven't spoken of,
right? There's two thugs.
yeah, the two greasers.
We haven't talked about the thugs.
Yeah, so they're like in the movie as basically.
They feel like in a Shakespeare play, like these would be the two that come in and wax poetic a little bit until they have a bigger like scene
Rosencrantz and Guildenstern.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Like while they're changing the sets.
Yeah, basically. It's like we got to change some shit out. Go and talk about just life and bullshit and whatever, and then we'll
I bite my thumb at you, sir.
yeah.
So they're like entrusted with like Wings Hauser's like, I got this body, right? I took the head off of it.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep the body in a tub, in a barrel.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, well, now we have something on the cop, so we're gonna enlist Wardley to give us some money, so we're gonna get into and
he's like, now I'm into crime and it's delightful.
I've never felt so alive.
I do have a distaste for this, but I've never felt so alive.
I love this character so much.
He's so good.
So and I don't even remember who beheaded the other woman. But they're like, okay, we got to put the body.
We know this because Lawrence Tierney has done a thorough examination of these bodies.
Yeah,
in the basement at a certain point.
Oh, right.
He's like machete, clean swipe.
That's right. This one wasn't Wings Hauser because he doesn't know that Petty has died.
Okay,
and that head was cut with a knife, not a machete.
Right. Spider cut the head off the other
Spider
one.
did that one,
right?
And then I don't remember how Tim comes into custody. Oh, because. Who buries them both? Both of the heads.
That's why he runs into the thugs when he's like going to get the heads.
Right.
Because they had put it there.
Okay.
Right. And
so
he
now
suspects. Right, because the spider buried it, but the grave was too small to be a body, and so Wings Hauser said that, right? He's just like or somebody suspected.
No, Wardley said that.
Wardley said that.
Yeah.
Wardley said that. Okay.
Yeah.
So Wardley ends up taking Tim, Ryan O'Neal, hostage. They're like, okay, well, we're going to go walking out to the...
Right, I'm going to tell you a story.
Yeah.
As we go to, what's the Helltown?
Yeah.
What is Helltown? Besides the dunes in the middle of
it was apparently like an island where people like pirates.
It was
right.
Yeah.
And
it was like a sandbar.
This is where the two dead whores came from.
Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Back to the two dead whores.
Yeah.
It's basically like an island, like a sandbar situation where they would pirates back in the day would build a fire so that they would mistakenly think it was a lighthouse and they would crash onto the shore and they would rob them.
Yes.
And have orgies.
But
somehow, the orgies were mentioned, yes.
And the town where everybody is from was funded by this like ill-gotten booty.
Right. So this whole town
ill-gotten booty.
So this town is like cursed because they were founded on blood money, basically.
Pirate
like
blood
the fog. It's the same story from
Fog.
So Wardley takes Ryan O'Neal out there. He's like, I may shoot you, I may not, and I'm going to tell you this whole story about how, who's involved in what. And then Wardley kills himself.
Oh, what does he say?
Very
He's
dramatic.
like, about anger and depression. He's like, oh, what the fuck? I'll never remember the line, goddammit, but it got a good laugh.
He's like, come sit next to me.
Yeah.
Put your arm around me. Like, you like me a bit, don't you?
Yeah. He does question that.
I don't remember the line, though.
Fuck, no, I don't remember it either, but it was so good. Goddamn.
Yep. And then he shoots himself in the heart, and so now Wardley is dead. And so
Sadly.
But he has killed Spider and Spider's buddy, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember why, but he's killed. He said, like, because I killed him, Okay, so then Ryan O'Neal goes back to, or he gets with Madeline.
He goes back to his house, and Madeline is there waiting for him in the bushes.
Because her husband, Wings Hauser, has gone crazy is dressed in his green brave tags and has his knife.
Machete.
Yep, and his gun. He's sitting there with Lawrence Tierney.
Because the directive was, if he shows up, stall him, right? So Lawrence Tierney has taken to drinking wild turkey.
Yeah.
Haven't they all?
Yeah.
They're sitting there drinking. Yeah.
With so much bourbon drinking in this.
Yep. So
all the remaining players are there.
Yep. So Tim shows up, and so this is where what was it? Regency?
Regency. I forgot
Wings Hauser.
Alan Luther Regency.
Is like, okay, so like, where's he at?
I like to indulge both sides of what did you say?
Oh yeah, like
the enforcer and the maniac.
Yeah, it's like you haven't met the maniac.
Oh, it's like this is like over the top. Like it's great.
But it's wonderful. He's got a face for the over the top, and so I enjoy when he does it.
And so he is confronted there.
This is kind of the.
Did we mention that Lawrence Tierney took it upon himself to actually go and dump the two
deep
heads?
Six some heads?
Yeah.
Right.
I did it because you don't have the balls to do it.
Which was so strange because just moments earlier in the attic, he was like, I'll do it, son. Like, I'll do it. Like, it's very like heartwarming, like he's taking care of his boy. Right. And now all of a sudden he's like, you didn't have the balls to do it.
Because I think the journey changed him. It's like, this is a bigger deal than I thought it was. It's like I'm a man. You don't have the balls to do this. So he came back and changed.
That's not the first body part you've dumped.
Yes. That's fair.
And so when confronted, Wings Hauser, because he's smashed, right? He's drunk as fuck, has a stroke. Now, what triggered the stroke? I remember when he woke up from the stroke, he's
he finds out that Patty Lorraine has died.
Oh, and so he has a stroke.
He
punches the wall, he has a stroke.
Yeah, and Isabella Rossellini, his wife, walks in and like, oh my God, he's confronted and boom.
Yeah.
And then the next scene is him waking up and he's like talking out one side of his mouth.
Honestly,
and she's there. And he's like, I made you come 15 times.
His first words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's like, all of those were none of them were good.
I thought you were good, but you were no small potatoes.
Yeah.
Oh, I call them Italian small potatoes.
Yeah, because Lawrence Tierney and his son Tim are out in the hallway going like, it has to be done. We got to kill him.
I got to kill him. No, I'll kill him. No, I'll kill him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
bang.
She kills him.
Yeah, she does.
Because he called her small
potatoes.
That's true.
But oh man, him and that lisp after having a stroke.
Yeah, it's great.
And and then father and son go and dump all of the bodies.
All the bodies. So they're out in the boat.
A few on the way.
Like, so there's like 6 bodies they dump into the water. And
they
we're
have
like,
a whole conversation. About dumping these bodies.
Hilarious.
It's so great.
It's pretty good.
And then the music fades or starts up into the pomp and circumstance.
Yes. The graduation walk. Yes. Why?
The music at the end of this movie is the graduation music.
Yeah.
It's the whole song.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well, there was, because Angelo Badalamenti, David Lynch's composer, did the music for the movie.
An ending of some sort. Like
they're triumphant, right? They have
over what?
They survived.
High school.
They're the ones dumping the bodies. They survived.
Alive at the end
they survived high school, Michaela.
And then
you didn't equate this to high school. I did.
No.
So, well, there was a thing at the so then the very end, right? So we're like, okay, the 6 bodies go in the drink, which we assume is Patty Lorraine,
right?
Jessica,
Lonnie,
Spider,
Wardley's dad,
and Spider's buddy.
The other guy. That's
so 6 bodies, and they put them in the water, anchor them down, they deep six them.
And
Wings.
Wings.
Yeah, Wings.
So 7.
Yeah. So no, we got. Whatever.
Okay.
Whatever.
And
bodies in the water.
There's enough. Yep. Yeah.
But it ends up that Tim and Madeline, right? The lovers who are destined to be together.
Yep.
They're finally together, and she takes him to their new house that she purchased for $2 million and change.
Yeah, because she found a briefcase stowed away in Wings Hauser's car.
Yeah.
Or closet, in his closet somewhere.
But at the end, as he goes to close the door and the camera's on the outside of the door, and he comes up and he looks past the camera.
And we hear voices.
Do we at that point?
There's something.
Is it laughing or voices?
I might have been laughing.
It's human. Like there's some. I don't remember if it was like talking or laughing, but it was human, and it was very clearly like two women.
Yeah,
it's the ghost of two whores.
It is.
Yeah, right? Is that what
yes, it is. It is. It's the ghost of two horses.
Yes, because and I know that we may hear, like when it cuts to black, there's
then we hear a laugh, a cackle.
Yeah, that's Jessica from the
because Jessica and Patty are the two whores.
Yeah. Ghost of Two Whores would be a better title for this movie.
I agree.
The remake,
Ghost of Two
Whores.
Yeah. Because I guess we're to assume that they did bring their spirits forth and they went into the bodies of Jessica and Patty Lorraine, I guess. I don't know.
Or history is repeating itself. It's a ghost story.
It's a curse, so it will just continue on.
Yeah, this will happen again.
Yeah.
Ghost of Two Whores is definitely a better title for this.
I'm surprised we got as much out of that as we did.
I know, trying to relate that movie. Goes. It's very a complicated movie.
I had faith in us. I knew we'd get there.
Okay. All right, well,
conversation.
There's going to be more to this conversation. We're going to talk a little bit more about the movie. We're going to tell you what we thought of our impressions of it and whether we would recommend it to you. But first, we're going to answer some of your mail. And in order to do that, we're going to have to summon our mailman. Igor, bring us the mail.
Masters, the mail. I've got the mail. So many letters. Our followers are rising.
Why, thank you, Igor.
Do you think he's seen the Ghost of Two Whores before?
I think parts of him are body parts to two whores.
He's caused the ghost of
Gotcha.
two whores before. I
wonder what his ghost count is, how many he's brought into this world, you know?
He's haunted by many ghosts. Yes. Because he has many parts.
He drinks as much as everybody else in this movie.
Well, thank you for bringing the mail, Igor. We're going to read it. We should let the good folks at home know how they can participate on this interactive portion of our show by following along on Facebook.
Facebook.com/Saturday Night Freak Show.
Or X.
@SatFreakShow.
Or by email.
SaturdayNightFreakShow@yahoo.com.
Or on Threads and Instagram at Saturday Night Freak Show. So MF Mad, the keeper of the Saturday Night Freak Show Wall of Fame, wants us to know that, yes, we are inducting Lawrence Tierney onto the Wall of Fame because of his appearance in The Prowler, because of the appearance in Tough Guys Don't Dance, and also From a Whisper to a Scream.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
He was the warden.
In one of those stories.
From a whisper to a Scream.
I don't remember that movie.
That was an anthology.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that the one?
That's the one. Well, Clu Gulager.
Yeah.
Has sex with the dead woman.
Yep.
9 months later, the baby comes out of the grave.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Terry Kaiser and the witch.
Terry Kaiser and
he steals
the voodoo and the thing.
Yeah.
He's like, give me the thing for eternal life. And then he ends up being burned in the hospital.
Yes, thank you. Okay.
Okay, tonight's movie, Tough Guys Don't Dance. We got mail on.
Oh, good.
Congratulations. Justin Fields says, oh boy.
Correct.
Appropriate reaction.
Long Tall Shorty says, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God, oh man, oh God.
Yep.
Correct.
That's correct.
Novato Judoka says, while I have now seen this horrible masterpiece, what a ride. If a streetcar named Desire were made by Canon, wow. Rip to Wings Hauser, who passed just yesterday.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Okay, and the next comment that I'm going to read, you got to let me read the whole thing.
Okay.
Michael Whitaker says, very daring of them to make a movie with the reanimated corpse of Frankenstein's monster. Oh, wait, my bad. That's Wings Hauser. Edit. 7 hours later, and apparently he just passed away. Talk about bad timing for my dumb joke. Rip Wings Hauser.
Our curse is spreading to the listeners now. My God.
It's like,
I'm sorry. That shit was hilarious. I know you didn't mean it, but that's still funny.
May Ernesto protect you?
Yeah, 7 hours. Wow.
Or he's going to find you.
I can imagine him just scrolling and like, God damn it.
Shit. Yeah.
Bitch.
Last week, we watched a movie called Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Mark Harrison writes in and says, is Buffy a popular name in America? I've never met a Buffy in my life down here in Australia.
Here's the thing. Joss Whedon's real name is Joseph, okay? And he gave himself the nickname Joss, okay?
Like
so
Joseph A.
Buffy
Bank versus Joss out front.
But so no, Buffy's not like a real name.
No.
Maybe it should be.
Well,
it's cute, but
No, I've heard it every now and again in a joke.
Yeah.
When they're
Yeah,
talking
it's-
about rich, highfalutin,
Yeah.
bubblehead
Yeah.
people. Like
Yeah.
Buffy.
Like Valley Girl, California rich
So,
kind of situation.
But it's always
yeah.
been in sort of that way.
That's the only time I've heard it referenced.
So maybe
to.
a nickname or something.
Yeah.
For somebody.
Little Muffy and her, parents' money
Those
and whatever.
things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never
an actual person.
No.
The week before, we watched a movie called Silent Hill. Neil Coppola writes in and says, "Man, you guys tore apart one of my favorite video game movies ever. I know the bar hasn't exactly been set high. From a story standpoint, there's many holes, but bringing the game to the screen 20 years ago was such a huge accomplishment. It created excitement for all us Silent Hill fans. I do wish they would have mirrored Silent Hill 2's story. Unfortunately, they combined aspects of 1 and 2 together, which led to an average at best movie. I still love the practical effects, though, and it was pretty awesome to see Pyramid Head come to life on the screen."
There you go. That movie's for you.
The production design was incredible.
Yeah.
Well,
It
that's
was
what
really-
we were talking about. It's like
It's
it is
beautiful
like
to look at.
the look of it
It's very.
And we
is
The
what
atmosphere is there.
people,
Yeah.
fans
Like,
want.
and we all have movies that we're like, I know it sucks, but I love it. Like,
Oh, yeah.
we all have that.
I was
My-
with it until that third act, man. I was enjoying it until it just got all
Then it just,
razor
like, fell
blades
apart.
flying around,
Yeah.
barbed wire shit, new metal music
Three
video.
little girls. Which
Yes.
one's good? Which
Yeah,
one's evil?
yeah.
Which one's just weird?
Well, Maya Madsen writes in and says, "Yeah, I don't really care about whatever faults the plot structure has because they nail the aesthetic."
They did, yeah.
It's just, people love that.
And B. Shaw Foolery says Silent Hill and its sequel both got the budget that Dead or Alive should have gotten. Silent Hill would have been much better as a show via Netflix or similar, and the main character finally would be Harry Mason, possibly played by Mark Wahlberg, or Millie Bobby Brown because it's Netflix.
Oh, no.
I mean,
You're right.
yeah.
Is she like
it's
their
true.
house star? Is that
Oh,
what-
yeah.
Yeah, look at the Electric
yeah.
State, which is out now.
Yeah.
But don't look at it.
Most expensive movie made in
Wait, did you
recent
see it?
memory.
Oh.
No.
Did
The
anybody see
commercials are hard to look at. I can't even imagine watching that
No,
movie.
there's nothing in those commercials that made me be like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to watch that.
Right.
it? All right.
Sorry.
Well,
Netflix, Millie Bobby Brown, never.
well, thank you very much, everybody, for writing in. We really appreciate
we really
it. We
do
do.
appreciate it. Yeah.
Indeed. Oh, yes, very much.
And now we're going to go around the table and tell you what we thought of tonight's movie, Tough Guys Don't Dance, starting with
Michaela, do you think Tough Guys Don't Dance?
I fucking hate the title of this movie. It doesn't, like, I get, like, we were making fun of when he was going to say it because it was so obvious he was coming up.
I didn't know it was going to be like that, but it was.
Guys don't dance. But it, like, the title sucks. But there's so many things about this movie that you could talk about that, like, the title not matching is so not important compared to everything else that's happening with this movie.
True.
A few times in my adult life watching movies have I been as bewildered as I was watching this one. I just didn't know why anything was happening or how things were connected. It's really impossible to follow, but it's still entertaining. That being said,
But the vibes are good.
The sharp turns left and right and how quickly that pendulum swings for tone and pace and just the way people talk, it makes no sense. But I mean, that at least they were trying something, I guess, right? Norman Mailer seems like a piece of shit, but this movie's entertaining as fuck, you know? The movie is really entertaining.
He could have read that at the beginning of that trailer.
Yeah,
that exact quote right there.
Exactly. Oh my god, yeah, I really think saying it's Streetcar Named Desire of Canon made it really sums it up. Because that's the thing with Canon movies is like almost always they are nonsensical. Like they are hard to follow a lot of times and are missing major plot elements that most other movies would have, but they're still fun and they're charming and there's something earnest about them that makes them charming. And this movie I feel like was made in earnest. I think I gotta recommend it just because it's a seeing is believing sort of thing. Like, it's really hard movie to describe though. Like, I don't know how to sell you on it because it is impossible to describe because it's just everything thrown in a blender. It's crazy. But yeah, it's seeing is believing. So I think I have to recommend it, but I don't know how you move up past the movie because you can't process it. So, yeah, recommend. We'll see how I feel in a week.
Michaela, you may be interested to know that this is also an episode of How Did This Get Made?
Oh, amazing. Okay. Yes, I'm going to have to
find that one.
Yes, I'm going to have to look into that. Colin, what did you think?
Crazy is a good way to describe it. I was just, my jaw was on the floor for a lot of it. I mean, some of the dialogue is just so, man, I don't even know how to describe. I mean, we were talking before about how it's the most like edgy thing at some point, right? And I remember this line because it cracked me up. Ryan O'Neal says to his wife, like, you're not even a real blonde. And she's like, my pussy hair was blonde until it was scorched by the entire football team. It's shit like that.
Yeah.
Just every single moment of the thing is like, whoa, what just came out of their mouth? It's some kind of fucking masterpiece. I mean, I was sitting there. I mean, the entertainment value was like through the roof. And I was also like, I don't see a movie like this now. Like nobody would take a chance because it's like it is complex.
Yeah.
But also just like skeevy and sleazy in like a way that's like, what the hell? And it does make you kind of, I mean, obviously it comes from the writer. And like, okay, this is a guy who like lives on some fringe somewhere and has issues, and that comes across. And I think that also is kind of what makes it like a singular experience that you should check out. I mean, I was entertained. I thought it was great. Sean, what'd you think?
Hard to argue with any of those feelings from both of you. Yeah, just a crazy movie. You never know what's going to come next or what's going to come next out of somebody's mouth. And
I had no idea who had done what to who.
Right.
I still don't.
Right.
Well, I got it by the end of it, I think. But
as the movie unravels, you will unravel with it, and it's an experience.
Your sanity will unravel.
Oh yeah, but it's an experience that I think you're just kind of on the edge of your seat with. Oh man, surprising. And again, you're not gonna know what's going on for a lot of this movie, but you're gonna feel something, and it's like you said, you don't see movies like this anymore. Because no one would in their right mind would release something like that and be like, people will get this. Put it out there. We'll see if we can make
bad. Like this would make movies exciting again. That's like an exciting movie.
And I'm sure. I mean, but again, I'm sure they're out there, right? They got to be. We just don't see them. Yeah. Like there's so many outlets for this shit to go that we just haven't discovered it. But until we do discover them, we have Tough Guys Don't Dance to hold us over. You should watch it. You'll just be surprised at every turn, and that's fascinating. And again, for Wardley, just for the just the different characters in this, it's I think you'll have fun to no end with it. So I'll recommend it. Jesus, I guess. Who knew? Holly, take us home.
I want to know if John Bedford Lloyd is still alive and if he's on Cameo.
Right.
Because
seriously.
I would pay to have him give us a message in Wardley voice.
Yes.
That would be amazing.
He looked pretty young in Super Troopers, so I think, he's probably still going strong.
You never know.
Well, you never know. Ernesto, I won't assume anything.
Ernesto, we love you.
I'm still sorry.
This movie's bonkers. It is batshit crazy. I was here for it. I mean, sometimes we watch things and I'm lost the whole time and that makes me angry. I was lost the whole time during this, but like I couldn't get enough. Like I wanted to know how this was going to unfold and I had no idea. And it was just, we laughed a lot.
We did.
This was, you have to see it to believe it. It was absolutely insane. It was sleazy. It was stupid. It really was like a really bad sleazy noir Tennessee Williams play. It was beautiful. Colin, you said it was a masterpiece. It is a fucking masterpiece. I've never seen anything like this. I do have to give credit. One of our listeners, Chuds, recommended this to me. And I asked him, I was like, are you recommending that I watch it or is it a freak show movie? And he said, no, this needs to be a freak show movie. So I watched the trailer and
how could you deny that trailer?
You can't deny that trailer. It's spectacular. And then the more I read about it, the more excited I got.
Oh man. Oh God.
I'm speechless. We've said it all. You have to see this to believe it.
Yeah. I'm stuck on calling it a masterpiece, but I mean, I don't think it's wrong.
It is. It's shit, but a masterpiece. I loved it. This was so enjoyable. If anyone watches this and is like, oh, you know what this reminds me of? Tell us what it reminds you of, because we want more of this.
Oh, yeah.
We want more. So I absolutely recommend you have to watch this movie. 100% Tough Guys Don't Dance. Again, I apologize. It is very homophobic.
Yeah.
I do apologize for that. But other than that, it's enjoyable.
Yes.
Well, there you go. That's a surprise recommendation from all four of us.
Yeah, I would say so.
On Tough Guys Don't Dance, the Canon film. All right. Well, next week, we hope you'll join us. We're going to watch a movie that is chosen by
Michaela. Don't kill anybody with your pick. What are we watching next week?
Well, the director's already dead, so that's safe.
All right,
we're gonna watch Looker from 1981, directed by Michael Crichton.
Okay,
so,
Looker.
Wow,
yes,
okay.
Looker.
All right. I don't know anything about this one.
I think this
Albert
might be
Finney.
the movie that, Albert Finney, that created the vaporwave aesthetic, or at least had a huge hand in it.
All right. Looker next week on the Saturday Night Freak Show. For that, we hope you'll join us. And until then, ladies and germs, the basement is going dark.